This week, Sports Arena comes to you from Miami and Florida. The significance of this city in this story is that it was here, in the evening of February the 24th, 1964, that a sports career unparalleled in brilliance and vulgarity began. It was born when a Negro named Sonny Liston went back to his corner after the 7th round and never came out for the 8th. It was then that another Negro, Cassius Marcellus Clay, became the new heavyweight champion of the world.
Joe Frazier and James Ellis have a showdown, I'm going to retire the winner.
It brought about the biggest boom that the ailing sport of boxing had known for years.
Tell Henry Cooper to stay in shape because Ellis is ready.
Cassius Clay was front page news. The writers had found a boxer who could string 3 syllables together. They even took his poetry and gave it a bigger circulation in a year than Byron got in a century.
Tell all my fans in England that as soon as things get straight, they might see me again. Ellis and Frazier have a showdown. They're both getting out of town.
And then, suddenly, it all went bad. This story is not only about why it went bad, it's also about why America itself may yet live to regret the very day that Cassius Clay, Muhammad Ali, was born. Last week, 2 reports appeared in British newspapers that Clay was back in the ring. And so he was, right here in Miami. The reports added that he's now a sparring partner. Quite correct. But they also said that his pay was a paltry $100 a day, implying that he's bust, just another stumblebum who can't even pay his hotel bills. All of which came as a surprise to Clay as he sat on the terrace of the priciest hotel in a very pricey time.
I don't know how it really was funny when I heard it. I don't know how something like this could get out. $100 a day wouldn't really pay my food bill and my hotel bills. I'm down here with my mother and father, showing them a nice time, my wife, a couple of friends of mine, and I would say our daily expenses come to $200 a day, not counting the airplane fare home and everything to go along with it. But I don't know how this could have gotten out. So I just want to say that to counteract these false propaganda stories about me now, a man who needs at least, I would say $1,000 a week to live with my plane fares, my hotels, my cars, my helpers, to say now that I'm here working for $100 a day. This is real belittling.
His partner in the ring is one James Ellis, due in London next month to fight Henry Cooper. Ellis is half a world champion, or in the present confused situation in boxing, champion of half the world. He's as quiet and well-mannered as Clay is brash and impossible. But what about Clay, who's still only 28? Doesn't he find this an incongruous situation?
No, he's helping me and I'm helping him. Yeah. Jimmy Ellis was the one who kept me in condition for all of my fights. When I trained for your Henry Cooper twice, Ellis was my sparring partner. Sonny Liston, Floyd Patterson, George Chuvalo, Carl Miltenberger. If it wasn't for James Ellis, I would not have been in the shape that I was in. This is worth millions to him, you understand?
Sure.
So it's not embarrassing. It'll be embarrassing if we were envious, if we was jealous of one another, see? I'm black and he's black, see? And he's just making a living. I'm happy with what I'm doing with the draft. I'm happy with my religious stand. I'm happier now than I've ever been. And as I said, this is just something to keep in condition. I've been in the ring all my life. This is where I kept my body in shape. You take a racehorse, you take a car, any engine, if you don't run it or blow it out, it still may, look like it can go. A man may feel that he can do and he see what he can do, but his body won't perform. So naturally, I'm nothing like I was 3 years ago. And I can tell by working with Jimmy now because he's getting to me and I'm missing a lot of punches that I never would have missed. So as I say, this workout is the best thing that could happen to me if anything should happen in the future. And it's the best thing that can happen to him because after working with me, everybody else will seem pretty slow to him.
James Ellis, are you in this gymnasium? Well, I want you to stay in good shape. Do you think you'll get by Henry Cooper? I know I will. You know you will. Henry Cooper's got a hard left hook. He's got a hard left hook. I tripped over a left hook once in England. Well, all I got to do is keep him tripping. Yeah, all you have to do is keep him tripping, but old Henry has been out a long time. He's pretty good. Henry's not as dumb as he looked. Watch him. You know, Henry Cooper's got his spies over here. All these Englishman chaps are coming over here pretending they want pictures of me working with you, and they take these films back to England, and they get a secret meeting with old Henry, and they have a secret meeting. Pictures won't help old Henry. Pictures won't help Henry. Old Henry. Well, he don't necessarily have to be called old Henry. That's a candy bar. I know. But they take these films back to England, and they spy on them, and they cut them in slow motion. That's the way they did me. And they showed Henry how easy I was to hit with a left hook. I'm not going to tell him your weaknesses. Way back in a little one-horse town called Louisville, Kentucky, back in 1941, Mr. Cassius Clay married Mrs. Odessa Grady, who later became Mrs. Cassius Clay, and they had a little son. It all started 25 years past when one of the best fighters was born at last. And I want the people there in England to meet my mother and father, Mr. and Mrs. Cassius Clay. Come on over, Mom and Daddy, and meet my English fans here. This is Mrs. Clay, and this is my daddy, Mr. Cassius Clay Sr. And they're down here in Miami vacationing with me, and they just want to say hello to all of the people over there in England. They go,
Hello. Hello.
They're very proud of him, mate.
Thank you.
He told the world when I was 12 years old that I was going to be the champion.
I did. I told him the world was 12 years ago. His first bout. His first bout was, so he fought like his well experienced, like he was Joe Louis. Somebody. I said, yes, I got little Joe Louis here.
He's better than Joe.
He's a champ.
Now, I want to trace back to where a bomb went under your boxing career, because suddenly it all went wrong. Presumably, this was the Vietnam question and the Army draft. You are called up for the Army. You take 2 tests, and you fail them. And then suddenly the matter goes to the Pentagon, because you were then Cassius Clay, you were Muhammad Ali, but you were a famous figure, and suddenly, you, the man who'd failed 2 tests, were passed A1. Is that true? Is that how it
Well,
happened?
yes, they said I was mentally deficient or something because I didn't pass my tests
Yeah, but
twice.
tell me about those tests.
One,
I mean, were they hard?
one test was in Miami. Oh, test like if you had 15 apples and you sold 2 1/4 of these apples and 3/3 of these apples was destroyed, how many do you have left? I don't know the answer.
Yeah.
I barely got through school. I'm not really a good reader nor a good speller. You have a time limit on all the tests. And most of them I just guessed because I was too embarrassed to say I couldn't read the test that quick.
Yes.
So they had psychiatrists, 2 psychiatrists came from Washington, D.C., took me to Kentucky, and they examined me to see if I was joking. And they found that the same test the last one corresponded with the first one. So then this is still when I was Cassius Clay and a Christian. But after the Islamic, the Muslim faith was pronounced that I had joined, and the name Muhammad Ali, then all of a sudden I became wise. Then they lowered the standard that anybody who made at least 18 on their test, which was awful low, must go to the Army. Well, this got me, see.
Yeah. Now, did they do this because of you, do you think?
Well, I really don't know. It's hard to believe that such a powerful government in a country like America would change your whole system just to get one black man in the service.
You'd only
Well-
have to say one thing in this country, and you could be back in boxing tomorrow.
Yes, but I don't know. I don't think I'd have to say that. Many reasons could probably get me back. Number one, first, my case would have to be throughout, draft case. If they don't do that, I'll probably have to do 4 or 5 years in prison. And then if I come out then, if I'm in shape, then I can consider it. But as of now, money means nothing to me, nor boxing when it comes to the freedom of your people. So everything I'm doing, if it means hitchhike tomorrow, if it means be raggedy, if it means look for a job, I'll be happy because I can go to bed, my conscience is clear, and I didn't sell out or trade my people just because I could be rich in Hollywood with a yacht out here on that could be my yacht right there. Imagine it's valued at $200,000, but I wouldn't want that damn yacht if I couldn't go back over in the black neighborhood and protest a black woman being raped. The hell with the yacht, the hell with the championship. So I want the people to know this, you understand? The Muslims did not find me. Elijah Muhammad, God don't need me, I need him. I couldn't talk to you a few years ago when I was in England the first time on these subjects because I wasn't not a Muslim. I didn't have the wisdom that I have now. So if you noticed, when you talk to me, when they do interviews with me, they're not the interviews that you do with boxers. Boxers usually don't talk. And all they can tell you is he ran 5 miles yesterday, or God, good left jab, or I'm not that type of Negro, black man, you understand?
Yes.
See, the questions they asked me on interviews and in colleges is the same thing or more complicated than you would ask the Queen of England or President Nixon or some senator politician. So I would say that I'm awful happy because what I'm doing now I feel to be much greater than boxing.
Yeah. You found the black Muslims.
Well, naturally, I went to a Muslim meeting here in 1960.
And that's how it started.
And I heard the truth. I heard the real truth that Christianity don't teach. I saw people not smoking, thousands of them. I saw them not drinking, not committing adultery, not fornicating, praying 5 times a day, bathing twice a day, in unity, putting up their own schools, their own factories, their own radio shows, their own newspapers. One man, Elijah Muhammad, runs his own nation here in America.
Yeah.
Converts black people, cleans up sissies, prostitutes, homosexuals, make men and women out of them. The right Christian scientists admit it, the prisons, the FBI. Muslims under the leadership of Elijah Muhammad are the most cleanest, the most unified, the most respected black people in America. And everything that black people are doing today, black and I'm proud, black culture, black history, black schools, all of this come from Elijah Muhammad. Malcolm X, Eldridge Cleaver, Huey Newton, Rap Brown, all of the so-called militant heroes today used to be followers of his until they got violent and broke loose. But everything in America today of black, of progress, come from Elijah Muhammad. And when I heard it, I had to accept it because it was the truth.
I'm your blood and your flesh. White people are not your brother. They're not your blood and your flesh.
Whatever Clay says, it's never been quite established how he did become mixed up with the black Muslims. His claim to have taken the initiative and joined them is certainly disputed. But whatever the route, he has a convert's fanaticism. Though he's under a cloud with their leader, Elijah Muhammad, his loyalty remains unswerving. He doesn't even question the inconsistency that the black Muslims, who claim to be anti-boxing, gave Clay special dispensation when it became obvious that he was to become their most famous frontman. This frontman image is what now makes Clay public enemy #1 among white Americans, for they recognize his hypnotic powers among his people.
I'm mostly concentrate on my people because after I'm finished with white America as far as sports and entertaining them, beating up a black brother of mine or something, I'll have to come back to the black ghetto. I'll have to come back to black people. All black people is, I don't care how big they get, and all the entertainers in America, all the athletes, when they're down and no more wanted to entertain the power structure, the master, the millionaires, then they have to come back anyway with their own. So I'm mostly concerned with what my people think about me. See, the whites have never respected us. They've always mistreated us, assassinated us. They've always deprived us of freedom, justice, equality, lynched and burned us. So really, they can't hate me or dislike me no more. All I want is the following of my world, the black world, which numbers some 650 million. And this is what I have now. My stand for my religious belief, my stand for my people, speaking up for my people, all of them are with me, and that's all I want.
Can I come back to your association with the black Muslims? Have you paid them a lot of money?
Well, this is another propaganda thing. It's a good question that people here in America has tried to paint the image where I was being used by the Islamic religion just for prestige and for money. I'd like to say that after all of my fights, white America, as I said earlier, took 90% first, which left me 10%. I divorced my first wife. Cost me about $200,000 in alimony. The judge, he was against me too. I was married 11 months, no children, and I have to pay a woman $1,200 a month for 10 years. This is another thing directed just at me. The government fight has cost nearly some $200,000. All of this had to be done out of 10%. Plus my living expenses, my mother, my father, my brother, my wife, my children. Baby, I mean. So I would say I have not paid Elijah Muhammad or the Muslims nothing. I owe Elijah Muhammad $100,000. I owe him $100,000. So, no, sir, Elijah Muhammad is running his own schools, his own universities. He's got some 900,000 followers that have to eat daily. I can't feed them. He's got 900,000 followers that drive nice cars. I can't buy them. He's got 900,000 followers that live in nice homes. I can't pay for them. You understand? So this is real silly to say that I take care of the Muslims like the press used to say. The Muslim broke me. No, it was the white government of America. They took 90% first and everything they could after that in some way or the other. So the Honorable Elijah Muhammad haven't done nothing but helped me, and I cannot give him a quarter. I owe him everything and the Muslim faith. They don't owe me a thing. I owe them.
It's been written here by a columnist, though. He actually used these words, that the black Muslims now are getting a lot of mileage out of you, but when that mileage is through, they'll drop you like a hot potato. Does that strike you as
What
being
do they
possible?
mean, getting a lot of mileage out of me? All of my mileage, I got all of my mileage out of them. The talk, the arrogance, I mean, the fearlessness, the stand that I've taken for my religion, the world respect I've got now that I'm a Muslim with the name Muhammad Ali. I'm now recognized all throughout the Islamic world. Money can't buy this brotherhood and world love. I have some 800,000 brothers in America who love me. They'll die for me and I'll die for them.
But
so
how
I don't know what they mean, but I've gotten mileage out of this.
Muhammad Clay is certainly plastic explosive for unscrupulous hands. His naivety, combined with a congenital hatred of being out of the limelight for more than 5 seconds flat, has always been apparent. The point is he more serious now than in the old days? For as he looks back, he admits that he was kidding us all.
Well, this was only campaigning. Before the first Liston fight, I wasn't a champion. And you had a lot of top contenders who were ranked over me at the time I fought Liston. And so I found out that promoters like money. Promoters look for the best 2 people that's going to draw the crowd. I met a famous wrestler in America who's deceased now named Gorgeous George. And he was bragging about how pretty he was, how beautiful he was, how great he was. I'll annihilate the bomb, I'll kill him, I cannot be defeated. And he was bragging so until I had to go see him. And many thousands of people was there, mainly hoping he would be whooped, just to see if this man could really back up all this talk. So right away I start talking. I am the greatest. If he talks jive, he'll fall in fight. I'm the real king of the world. I'm too beautiful to be a fighter. This made many people angry because black people in America as a rule are humble. They don't talk like that. And I heard it ringside when I fought Sonny Liston. Knock that nigger out. That nigger needs a good whooping. He talks too damn much. Put your fist in his mouth. Well, I didn't care what he said because he paid $250 for the seat. And I went to the bank laughing, you understand?
Yeah. What you're saying is the whole thing was a publicity gimmick.
Right. This was a gimmick. This was only to campaign like President Nixon. He went all over the country seeking to give you an autograph. He flew airplanes. He rode trains. He went out of his way to pick up little children. But after he got in office, things changed. Now you cannot see Nixon walking down the street. Now you need an appointment and a necktie to go talk to Nixon. I start saying Liston, but Nixon. So now that I'm in office, I would say, now that I'm an established champion, ranked as the fastest in all history, best by many, I would say that I have no need now to say I'm the greatest or I can whip him, because the people know that I'm a good fighter. So this was only, I would say, campaigning.
Even so, he still can't resist campaigning at the very turn of a camera.
This universe is big enough for 3 champions, but the world is not big enough for 3 champions. 2 of us must leave, and it's not going to be me. Joe Frazier, James Ellis, they got to have a showdown. And after I go to jail, if I go to jail, I'm going to stay in training. And when I come out, they got to whoop me.
The one place where Clay's still certain of an adulatory reception is in downtown Black, Miami. He drives to one of the chain of hamburger palaces he's building across America. It's in these that his money's tied up. But there's also a certain sinister undertone of segregationist recruiting.
We are dominantly in 90% black neighborhoods, but all people come here, Cubans, Mexicans, white, but the majority are black because these are black neighborhoods, the schools in the area, the housing projects, and just 99% black. But what the thing is to give our people in America a place to come in their own slum conditions, where they have air-conditioned, nice, modern places like this, where we can employ them and give them what few jobs we can. And I come here and talk to the kids a lot and keep them out of the streets and give them a little sense of encouragement, because usually when a figure politically or athletic become popular, such as myself, they usually don't see him. They feel down and out and like they're not wanted. So this is why I come around and we set these places up. And nationally, we will employ about 9,500 people.
This, of course, I mean, we've seen here demonstrated your particular hold on these people because of your fame, because of everything. You have a tremendous hold on these people. We've seen it here. Does this strike you as being a great responsibility?
Well, I would say yes. I have a great responsibility to do all I can as an image to lead them into doing the right things. I would say I'm not a leader, but all I can do is do the best I can, hoping that they will follow after me. Like for an example, I think that the smoking that they are trying to do at a young age. I just encourage this, and the drinking and the mistreatment of women, and the stealing and gang wars and fighting and killing one another, which is going on throughout the United States. And as long as I can obey the laws of the land, as long as it don't conflict with my religious beliefs, and live as clean as I can, hoping that some of them will be impressed by it and see the success that I have and try to follow me in that way.
Could one follow that argument through and say that therefore they could well follow you into a black Muslim movement?
Well, I think this is the best thing they could do, is to join the Muslim movement. And this is what has taught me to live like I do. This is what has made me stay with my people after gaining so much world fame and power, to love and respect and not sell out my people. So the main objective is hoping one day that they will recognize Elijah Muhammad and become followers of him. Then they become better citizens than they are Christians. They become more respectable to the women. They become less juveniles. And the best thing they could do is to become Muslims.
So what is exactly your position with this company? Are you just a figurehead?
I would say I'm the biggest stockholder in the whole company. I own half of the company.
Does this make you...
I have other advisors and helpers working along with me. But I would say that this is a lifetime thing with me from now on.
Could you put a cash value on your holdings in the company?
Well, it'd be kind of rough to say right now because stock grows and falls. But I would say if I had to cash it all in there, about $3 million.
You could actually cash in?
$3 million,
and produce $3.
Easy, yeah. So they took the title, I just got something better.
There are many contradictory assessments of Clay, and only time, provided he survives an assassin's bullet, will tell which is correct. One thing seems certain. He may appreciate the enormous latent power he has, but he doesn't have the maturity to control it. This is not a new American story. The only difference is that whereas Elmer Gantry was fiction, Muhammad Ali is fact.
Joe Louis was champion. Who is he now? Sugar Ray was champion. Ezra Charles was champion. Rocky Marciano was champion. They were only sports images. And when the sport leave, they die. I haven't been in boxing for 3 years. And I'm in news more. I'm in colleges more. TV series is like this from all over the world are coming to talk to me. See, naturally a few dollars is gone. As they say, the price of freedom comes high. I have paid, but I am free. I leave town when I want. I have no cigar-smoking white boss to say, where are you at today? Where are you going? When they get as famous as me, my friend, they're not too free to go where they want to go, mainly with their own people. I have paid a great price. I'm leaving town tomorrow at 5 in the morning. I'm stopping in Atlanta to open up a few more, buy some land for some more restaurants. And then I'm going out to California. I go when I want. I leave when I want. I say what I want on your TV show. I say it all over the world. It costs me. I can't go back to my job now because boss don't want me on the job now, but I'm free, you understand?
You are happy to have thrown away perhaps the greatest sports career since the war.
I haven't thrown it away. I haven't lost it. I would say I turned it down. I'm not, see, the greatest sports title mean nothing, mister, if you cannot be free, see? Yeah. Boys in Vietnam are throwing away, you may say, their lives. I haven't did that much. I'm still living. They are dying today to free somebody they don't know. So what in the hell is a heavyweight title and a few stinky dollar bills for my people's freedom?
Highbury Stadium was the venue for the second fight between Henry Cooper and Muhammad Ali. He may have been one of the all-time greats, but Ali had been given a massive shot by our Henry when they'd first met. Ali went on to win the fight, but Cooper's performance earned him a rematch. This is what happened.
And gentlemen, This is a 15-round contest, 3 minutes each round for the heavyweight championship of the world. Between the challenger, who is the heavyweight champion of Great Britain and the British Empire, Henry Cooper.
The weights again, I didn't quite hear the Master of Ceremonies, but I understood them to be Cooper 13 stone 6 pounds and Clay 14 stone 5.5, which is quite a bit less than when he boxed 3 years ago in London. In the non-title fight, he weighed 14 stone 11. He now weighs 14 5.5. So the weight advantage is no longer 21 pounds, but just less than a stone. And here is Ali praying in his corner before he comes out for round one. And the first punch to Cooper, just a brush on the arm, nothing dangerous there. This was the pattern we suspected. Clay doesn't relish having to go forward. Left hook there, but it landed on Clay's elbow. A good solid punch, but it landed on the champion's elbow. Good left jab there by Clay. Well, a little bit of wrestling there, and the Scottish referee George Smith says keep your head up to Cooper. Cooper way off the target there, well short. Perhaps a little too anxious to cock that left hook and let it go. Better for him to pave the way with a straight jab as he did last time. Phenomenal speed of Clay. Two minutes gone of the first and vital round, and they're feeling each other out. .30 seconds to go, round one. And hardly time for a first round knockout. We're coming up to just 10 seconds now of the first round. Cooper a little anxious, but missing with the left hooks. He's let the three is let go there. The best one landed on the elbow. and we'll see how Cooper looks. Well, no harm at all there from Cooper. No sign of cuts. That's Danny Holland, his expert cut man there, ready in case there's any blood. But there was not enough, certainly not enough punches landed there to cause any damage. Clay, I thought, looked a little anxious for the first part of the round, but once he'd felt Cooper's punch on his arm, he seemed okay. And there he is, irrepressible as always, talking to manager Angelo Dundee. And in the leaning through the ropes is the Cuban, Luis Serra, who doesn't speak any English, but Clay does speak Spanish to him. And looking very calm and composed, round 2. Well, that was the prize we've been waiting for. Cooper used a right hand, but unfortunately didn't connect properly. But that's the one he may nail Clay with. Everybody's talking about this left hook, but let's hope he can also do it with a right hand. Well, any hand will suit us. But it was Clay's right hand there that did the damage. Superb boxer, this world champion. Reflexes sharp as a nagging tongue. He's feinting Cooper quite a lot. He's drawing his leads. And a minute gone in round 2. Oh, Cooper way off target there. I don't think he can match Clay's speed. This is a far more matured Clay than we saw here in 1963. But Cooper now holding on, trying to pull him on to a left hook. The seconds in the champion's corner are moaning about Cooper hanging on there. I don't quite know whether they're justified. I think Cooper trying to make him stand still. Now, I'm afraid that right hand hit the top rope, but George Smith, the referee, is speaking to Clay for laying on and pulling Cooper. That was Cooper's best punch so far. It's incredible to me how the champion can be so contemptuous of Cooper's punches, because they are hurting, and Dundee, his manager, is telling him, no fooling around, this fella could nail you like he did last time. I'm not sure whether the Clay can, at this stage, know quite how to counter these rushes by Cooper. Cooper seems extremely confident. He was off balance early on, way off target, but once he can get in close to Clay, causing quite a bit of damage with these single punches. And the right hand that he caught him in a neutral corner was not a knockout blow, but certainly a dangerous one. And Dundee, as he gets out, says, now come on, let's get down to work. And it's round 3. very broad Scottish accent there, George Smith, as both of you are holding on and is demanding a clean break. Well, the champion fell short with his punches. That makes a change. Minute gone, round 3. Well, neither the crowd nor the referee liked Clay's action there, pulling Cooper on. Very unusual for Clay. He's usually an extremely clean fighter, but a definite foul there. Well, the elusive Clay with 2 minutes gone of round 3. And fortunately, no sign of blood at all from Cooper. His eyes are standing up well. Clay demonstrating, as you saw, with the referee saying it's him that's holding and not me. And both survive round 3. Clay is not even bothering to sit down now between rounds and just working into top gear, but he hasn't hurt Cooper, so there we are. We may get this big surprise punch. There's a slight swelling under Henry's left eye, but nothing to worry about. And round 4. Cooper is perspiring heavily on the brow, despite this cold weather. Very untidy in the clinches here, and again Clay appealing to the referee that he was hit low. This is surprising because Clay did not do this with George Chuvalo when he fought in Canada. And I wouldn't have thought that was a deliberate low punch. Clay does not do any infighting at all. That's his one weakness. And you'll notice he claims inside, he just clutches. So we're getting a lot of untidy work close in. Cooper matched him there for a straight left jab. Clay's left jabs are more flicks than hurtful punches. The Cooper ones are far more hot. But the speed with which Clay's deliver him is quite bewildering. He's really turning the pressure on. Round 4. With only 30 seconds of the round left. And repeated left hands there without reply from Clay. His left hooks brought quite a yell from the crowd, but weren't connecting properly, and Henry knew it too. But he still has hope of catching him and stopping this dance. But this man certainly can trip the light fantastic. There's still no bad marks here with Cooper. Slight swelling under the left eye, but not causing trainer Danny Holland any problem. I'll have a word here with Peter Lorenzo. Peter?
Well, Reg, of course, this was in the 4th round at Wembley 3 years ago that Henry delivered his famous left hook, but now the 4th round has come and gone, and neither man has been on the deck. One must admit that Clay is looking so much more mature than he did at Wembley 3 years ago. For me, this fellow is quite remarkable. He takes liberties in the ring there. You saw him turn away, protesting to the referee, and yet one always had the feeling that should Cooper storm in, there would be Clay ready to receive anything that came at him. Back now with Reg.
Round 5. This is the round that it ended last time in the non-title fight. But no sign of blood from the British champion. Very untidy indeed in the clinches for a championship fight. Minute gone in round 5. And Clay now working up. That was the first really inside work that we've seen in the fight. Cooper's left hook's in there. He was waiting for a break, but ringsiders, who always seem to know best, are saying jab with him to Henry, but it's very difficult to outmatch this man for speed. The world champion boxes like a middleweight without drawing a laboured breath. Seems to be Cooper's plan to trap the champion on the ropes, where he knows he can't back off, and then try to catch him going either way. With a minute to go in the round. But again, Cooper's right hand hit the top rope. Not all of these punches from Clay are getting home, these left hands. Some of them are just flicked with the tip of the glove, and others are jabbing hard. He's alternating. Cooper's gum shield there fell out, but he rather dangerously looked down and kicked it away. I think Clay was just as surprised as he was. Well, this is a good sign. The champion's decided to sit down now. He's feeling the pace a little. So some of the show-off has gone. Not that he's in any real trouble, unmarked, but I can't understand why he decides to stand between rounds and then decides to sit. Well, the crowd felt there was a need there for a cheer and started chanting Henry, Henry. I suppose they also spotted that Clay had decided to sit down and thought that, well, he possibly could be feeling the pace, but I think that's a false hope. And it's round 6. Yes, Henry Cooper's left eye is badly cut. A really bad one, which is a right-hand clip there in the far corner. Henry shook his head in despair. He knows he's in trouble. He's rushing after Clay. He probably knows that time's not on his side now, and referee George Smith is having a close look, but allowing it to go on. I'm afraid it's a very bad cut. No, it's all over. The great disappointment for Henry Cooper. Cassius Clay is still the heavyweight champion of the world. A very bad cut left eye that was done by a right-hand clip, I thought, in a neutral corner. Cooper sensed the trouble, rushed in, and here we have this normal pandemonium after the big fight. It's like a crowded train on the rush hour, with this chaos in the ring, with all the reporters and broadcasters trying to find the champion, and there he is, and Peter Lorenzo is certainly within talking distance, but whether he can manage it, I don't know. And here we are with Clay, what he says first to Peter Lorenzo for the closed circuit audience and the pay TV audience in Britain and the film around the world. The first from Lorenzo.
Champ, I think we're all waiting for you now, the British public and your transatlantic audience. Champ, you took 1 round extra this time. Do you think that Henry Cooper has given you a harder fight than last time?
Well, first of all, I'd like to thank, my duty first, Almighty God, Allah, for giving and the Elijah Muhammad, our leader, and for the religion of Islam, which enabled me to be victorious tonight, no matter which way I won. Henry Cooper was fast. He was hitting awful hard, and his hook was good, but I was a little too fast tonight. Unfortunately, he was cut, and he is easy to be cut. I hit him a few times solid, but it didn't bother him. But he ran into a hard right hand, and that opened him up.
That was a punch, Cass.
A hard right hand.
So Cooper was beaten, but in the 2 fights against Ali, he'd earned himself a permanent place in the hearts of British fight fans.